We're going to play Pittsburgh football today. Every Saturday, whatever time they say we're playing, we get it done.
Welcome back to Pitt Beyond the Script. I'm Rob King with AT&T Sportsnet with Pat Bostick. And Pat, let's jump into the Austin Peay game. One of the things you notice in a 55-0 win is the opportunity for the coaches to get 70 players to play in this game.
Yeah, that was big. I mean, you want to get that going in an opener. You want to get a chance to play as many guys as possible. They played 11 true freshmen, which obviously this year with the blanket redshirt year, you obviously are more inclined to play guys. You're less worried about the 4-game threshold, but playing 11 true freshmen, and all in pretty significant time, was big, and getting their feet wet, obviously in Heinz Field, was important. That was the first time they've been at Heinz this year. So it was a great win. It was a good start. Things were efficient. They stayed pretty healthy, and a lot of guys got their first action.
We're going to talk about one of those freshmen. I'm sure we'll be talking about a lot of them as this season progresses. But I wanted to ask you about the offense overall. Kenny Pickett, we saw him running over to the sideline and running back last year. Some no huddle, some different things going on this year. Can we expect to see some more of that?
I think they want a tempo. You know, I think Kenny likes tempo. If you look at his statistics over the years, he's really good in 2-minute drills. And I think it's because everything slows down for him because the game speeds up. Get to the line of scrimmage, you get a chance to digest things. You're not worried about the gyrations of getting in and out of the huddle, calling the play. You get to the line, dial it up, and look at the defense. And he's able to react and play faster that way. I think they have more talent to do that now too. They got a lot of tailbacks they can roll. They got a veteran offensive line that understands this system and what Mark Whipple wants to do. And they've got plenty of parts on the perimeter that can do different stuff. They can catch screens, they can run jet sweeps. You saw Addison play a big role. So I think the combination of Mark Whipple in his second year, Kenny Pickett's comfort level going no huddle, and the culmination of talent they have, I think leads them to be more inclined to be a no-huddle up-tempo team.
I want to talk about the freshman Deion Hayes. That's the guy I want to get to. Look, Westinghouse, one of the biggest city recruits in years, and he showed why. We know that there were different reasons that there were opportunities present for him to play more, of guys opting out, COVID testing, an injury, but this guy, two sacks in his first collegiate game, pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, Pat Narduzzi last week, I believe it was either Monday or Thursday, mentioned that Deion Hayes was a guy that he can get a little down on his luck because you're buried behind Patrick Jones and Rashad Weaver and John Morgan and Deslin Alexander and all those guys that are veteran, defensive ends. And lo and behold, Deion Hayes goes in there and makes a splash right away. I mean, he gets to the quarterback, pretty much unblocked in the first one, but the second one he circled the quarterback well and knocked the football out. I mean, this defense is just loaded, and you look at what's coming, what's already here with young guys. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with, and Deion Hayes will be one of those names we're talking about for a long time.
Paris Ford, an interception as the defense shuts out Austin Peay. A sterner test coming up before we get to Syracuse. Can't forget special teams of the pair of block punts.
Yeah, block punts, obviously that's critical. The one was a little bit of a gift. I'm not sure what the punter was trying to do, but Brandon George a little upset he didn't get in the end zone. And Sibley, up big obviously in that game. It looked like Todd didn't really want to block it, but he was like, I kind of have to, right? I'm at the punter, let me just kind of wave my hand at it. And so he scored on offense and defense in the game. But I thought too on special teams, Rob, the guy that I was most impressed with was Kirk Christodoulou. Averaged 49.3 yards per punt, had a long of 59. Lacked a little backspin on the one he was trying to get inside the 20, but he had a little bit of an up and down year, was in and out of the lineup last year, and it's good to see him settle in and get off to a good start.
25th ranked Panthers, they are in the top 25, and they're going to be taking on a Syracuse team that lost to a ranked North Carolina team. Now, look, Pitt has had great success against Syracuse, but they traditionally seem to be very close games. What is the big step up? We always talk about the improvement from week 1 to week 2. What are the Panthers going to try to accomplish, and how do they get acclimated to playing against a team that's going to be a much sterner test than Austin Peay?
Yeah, well, they're different. I mean, offensively they got a senior quarterback or an older quarterback in A.J. DeVito that, again, he was a little banged up last year, and they played a couple quarterbacks against the Panthers up in the Dome. But he can move with his feet. A lot of the same attributes you saw from Oatsball. Oatsball ran a little bit, but AJ might run a little bit more. They got weapons outside. Really good pair of receivers. They're a little bit depleted at running back. I think where the biggest difference you see is up front, the size, the physicality. They want to try to run the football. They're going to be up tempo. That's Dino Babers' style. You flip to the defensive side. This will be a markedly different defense than the Panthers have faced both in training camp and in week 1. They're very multiple up front, go 3-4 and 4-3. They'll stand defensive linemen up and walk them around. They bring a lot of different stunts and blitzes, and they're able to do that because they have a great secondary in the back. Andre Sisco is one of the best safeties in the country. You're going to see two of the best safeties in the country on the field on Saturday with him and Paris Ford. He allows them he can make up. He's kind of a Band-Aid back there. If they don't get to the quarterback, those guys in the back end are able to cover up. They got big corners. I think they're a good football team. They struggled to score against North Carolina, but really the game should have been tighter than it was. It was a 10-6 football game going into the fourth quarter, and we obviously know North Carolina had a lot coming back.
All right, Pat, thanks very much. Look forward to your call coming up on Saturday as the Panthers take on Syracuse, their first ACC game of the season. Coming up next, the spotlight shines on quarterback Kenny Pickett when we resume on Pitt Beyond the Script.
Let's go. Family on three. 1, 2, 3. Family! All right, man.